Why did an 18-year-old phenom with sky-high ceiling whispers still find himself staring at the clock on draft night, wondering if each tick would be his last chance? Imagine the stage, bright lights flooding the room, draft boards looming overhead, each team's logo waiting to flash beside a name. 11 picks fly by, 12, 13. Every time the buzzer sounds, another roster bulks up, another opportunity evaporates. And yet here he stood, Buzelis, the player half the league pegged as a no-brainer top 5 pick, still waiting. It wasn't a glitch in the system. It was a story that began long before the NBA Combine, tracing back to Chicago's cold-winded playgrounds and the far-flung courts of Kaunas, Lithuania. Born in Vilnius but raised in suburban Chicago, Matas carried both identities like a badge of honor and a source of internal conflict. Weekdays meant Midwest winters playing pickup under flickering gym lights with local hopefuls. Weekends often meant hopping on flights to visit family overseas, where conversations around dinner tables unfolded in Lithuanian and centered on tales of Sabonis and Marčiulionis. Those cross-continental bonds instilled in him a deep reverence for the game's heritage, even as he soaked in the American approach to athleticism and competitiveness. By the time he hit high school, that hybrid upbringing had forged something rare: a 6'9" wing with guard skills and a willingness to learn. At Stevenson High School in Illinois, his freshman season was a quiet preview. Limited minutes but flashes of potential. A smooth, left-handed finish here, a quick closeout there. Coaches noted his work ethic. The kid who stayed late after practice to shoot threes, the kid who volunteered for extra conditioning drills, the kid who treated every drill like an audition. Yet beneath that promise rested whispers. Could his slender frame survive the push and shove of top competition? Would his shooting form hold up under pressure? Senior year brought a transfer to Brewster Academy in New Hampshire, a prep powerhouse known for churning out Division I talent. There, under Coach Jason Smith's watchful eye, Matas's game accelerated. Practices felt like film sessions with NBA-level complexity. Defensive rotations named after pro teams, motion offenses with 30 variations, situational scrimmages mimicking late-game possessions. He thrived, averaging a stat line that read like a highlight reel: 18.5 points, 7.3 rebounds, and 3.2 assists per game against top-ranked prep competition. But even as those numbers shone, scouts peered deeper, isolating every mid-range miss and every defensive lapse. One prominent East Coast scout quipped, "He's like clay, amazing potential, but can you sculpt him fast enough?" On social media, hype machines cranked into overdrive. Viral mixtapes showcased pull-up threes over 7-foot centers, behind-the-back dribbles splitting defenses, and signature Euro steps finishing with authority at the rim. Twitter polls asked fans if he was the next great wing or still a project. Mock drafts varied wildly. One industry insider predicted he'd be the draft's consensus number 3 pick, while another pegged him at number 18, citing too many question marks to trust him that early. Underneath the buzz, Matas felt the weight of dual expectations. His American coach praised his natural feel for the basketball, while Lithuanian family elders reminded him that true greatness came not just from scoring, but from embodying the game's soul. In interviews, he navigated both worlds, speaking of honoring my roots in one breath and chasing the dream in another, striving to prove he could excel on either stage. Then came the G League Ignite offer, an alternative path that bypassed college entirely. For many prospects, college meant television exposure, March Madness drama, and the chance to forge a national profile. For Matas, however, the Ignite's promise of daily pro-level training, NBA-caliber coaching, and matchups against seasoned veterans seemed a faster route to readiness. Accepting the Ignite deal meant sacrificing the traditional college experience, but offered a professional environment tailored to the specific skills he needed to refine. Arriving in Ignite's California base, he was greeted by a locker room that felt more like an NBA affiliate than a developmental team. Video coordinators scheduled daily film breaks. Strength coaches implemented customized programs to bulk up without sacrificing mobility. And nutritionists curated meal plans aimed at optimizing performance and recovery. Every detail, from the angle of his jump shot camera to the timing of his rehab sessions, was calibrated for peak development. Early season play validated that approach. Matas averaged 14.1 points, 6.6 rebounds, and 1.9 assists per game, while shooting 39% from 3 on heavy volume. Analysts praised his willingness to take responsibility on offense and his improved pick-and-roll reads. Yet in tightly contested games, those familiar doubts re-emerged. Cold shooting spells in the third quarter, defensive lapses against quicker guards, and moments of tentativeness at the free throw line. During a crucial mid-season showdown against seasoned G League opponents, he struggled to assert himself, scoring only 9 points on 3 of 11 shooting, a performance that reignited concerns among general managers watching closely. Beyond the court, implicit questions shadowed his progress. League executives debated his medical profile. A minor ankle sprain the previous fall, a mild knee tweak in high school, neither red flags on their own, but in a franchise context, chronic small injuries can translate to bigger issues. Off-court, teams discussed his adaptability. Could a Lithuanian-American kid handle the rigors of life in smaller NBA markets, away from familiar family support? Comments in front office war rooms ranged from high upside, but is the maturity there? To risk-reward seems tight. Mock drafts began to oscillate wildly. In late May, a prominent basketball podcast host claimed he was the steal of the draft, while a leading analytics website warned teams not to gamble on upside when more polished wings were available. The moratorium of doubt engulfed his narrative. Whenever one analyst championed his upside, another countered with a risk assessment. In the final pre-draft workouts, Matas traveled to Chicago, an emotional homecoming. In the Bulls facility, atop the very court where he played youth tournaments, he unleashed drills that seemed custom-built to silence skeptics. Contested step-back threes, mid-air spin pivots against veteran defenders, and defensive closeouts, with the intensity of a 10-year pro. Scouts peeked over clipboards, coaches murmured, impressed. Yet even a standstill three made under duress couldn't erase every lingering question about consistency and readiness. On June 24th, 2 days before draft night, a pre-draft combine session in Vegas added more data. Matas recorded a 7'2" wingspan, a 40-inch vertical, and agility times comparable to elite guards. Trainers noted improved core strength. Yet when asked about leadership in group interviews, his responses were measured but lacked the spark some franchises sought in a franchise cornerstone. He's thoughtful, one GM noted. But at that age, you also want that unmistakable alpha presence. Night 1 of the draft arrived. The room hummed with anticipation as teams solidified decisions in their war rooms. Television cameras panned excited fans in replica jerseys. Social media lit up with predictions from every corner of the globe. When the clock reset for pick 11, all eyes turned to Chicago. Commissioner Adam Silver took the stage. Picks 1 through 10 flashed by, each pick a missed opportunity for Matas. When the Bulls' name popped up, fans and executives alike exhaled. Chicago had taken a bold stand, banking on his upside over safer bets. The moment the Bulls logo appeared next to his name, a chorus of analysis began. Jubilant Bulls fans celebrated. Other teams whispered regrets. Media outlets prepared headlines about the draft's biggest story. For Matas, the moment was surreal. Relief, excitement, and the daunting realization that every question about his game would now be answered under the unforgiving spotlight of the NBA. No more developmental safeties, no more practice-only critiques. His draft slide had become the league's fascination and his personal challenge. But that wasn't the whole story.